Welcome back to another Clifton Cameras Week in Review. On this week's agenda, we'd like to thank yet more manufacturers for donating to the 3 Peaks Challenge in the Bristol Children's Hospital. We've got some news on Instagram, shadow bans, and future plans for video hosting on the platform.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. There have been developments in both Canon and Nikon camps in terms of full-frame mirrorless developments. I said developments twice. I don't like it. I don't like it when I do that. And then we'll discuss the latest gear, including 4 new releases this week from, was it Canon and Sony?
Yes.
So, let's get started. Andy,
yes.
Let's thank these kind people.
First, let's give a bit of appreciation to a few of our suppliers. So, Canon.
Golf clap.
Canon, Zeiss, and Sigma, as well as Manfrotto, Sony, and Newpro for all of your donations. We've already hit halfway to our target.
£5,250,
which is amazing.
That's a lot of money.
Also, if you're watching this video and you have donated, don't think that we haven't seen your donations. We definitely have. And if you haven't made a donation yet, why not?
Yeah.
It's literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Two
in 2
weeks
weeks'
today,
time,
we'll
we're going to be
be
doing Ben Nevis.
Doing Ben Nevis, but you can donate up to the 7th.
Yes.
Yeah, if you still want to make a donation, 7th of July, links in the description for where you can do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, also, Manfrotto were kind enough to provide us with some gear, which
we're going to be using some Lowepro bags.
We will be displaying thusly.
Yes. And they also have a promotion on those, which we'll mention at the end of the show.
Oh, tie-in.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah, and a big thank you to people who've donated in store as well.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated.
Appreciate that. So, moving on from that, Instagram updates.
Yes.
Loads of stuff's happening. It's relevant because you're all photographers. That's why. I started reading. I was reading through it, and I was like,
fact.
"Yeah, am I personally involved in this, or does this even matter to these guys?" But photographers use Instagram all the time, so
I think so.
Bam! I think it's important to discuss.
It's a pretty big update.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, basically, I guess this is in a bid to sort of keep up with the likes of YouTube, etc.
Yeah.
Instagram's owned by Facebook, as we all know. They are basically going to be introducing 60-minute videos. The ability to be able to do 60-minute videos, which is huge. I'm pretty excited about that one myself, to be honest. It is worth mentioning it will be in the vertical format.
Yeah.
As well. So
right, okay.
Yeah. So
right.
That's the way it's going to be.
That's a long video to film.
Very long video.
A vertical video.
I'm kind of intrigued how that's going to go myself, actually. But I think they have been approaching content creators. So I don't know if that means already Instagram guys or people from YouTube to start producing long-form videos. So
Somebody will be working on something somewhere, won't they?
Somebody's going to make something out of it.
Which is the case all the time throughout human history. Somebody somewhere is working on something. Nice, Matt.
It sounds amazing that they're doing 60 minutes. I do have my concerns already.
Already? In what way?
I just don't want to be flicking through. I quite like the fact that some of the videos are quite short, they're quite snappy, they're entertaining. I just don't want it to slow it down. You know, it's meant to be now. If it was like a 40-minute short film, that I would be really intrigued in. But if it's someone for 40 minutes just walking through that high street talking about absolute rubbish, I'm not going to be interested.
More vlogging.
It does beg the question, like, how do they display that within the app? And especially, it's already such a data intensive and battery life intensive app to run on your phone and to have running in the background that, I mean, you know, how do you display that? You know, there's got to be some. Then maybe they display like the first 15 seconds, and then if you know, it loads the rest.
Maybe loads up to something.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be its own, another app of its own or something. I don't know.
Maybe could be.
But I think this is basically they're trying to. I think they're going to be putting ads on these as well. So much like YouTube, it's a great way to fund. To get that revenue coming in. I mean,
it's the logical conclusion though to Snapchat started. Well, you started with Vine, and then you went into Snapchat, and it got a little bit longer, and now you've got stories, and you can go live on on Instagram. So, I mean, the next logical step is to be able to make longer form, vertical videos, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So
I'm looking forward to it myself. There's some incredibly creative people out there. I'm really looking forward to seeing what some people do. But I kind of see what you're saying as well. It kind of defeats the purpose of what Instagram was in the first place, wasn't it?
Yes, that's true.
We'll have to wait and see.
as well as them looking more at long format video options for the app, they have addressed sort of.
Sort of.
Yes, sort of. So Instagram has finally addressed ranking criteria, shadow banning, and whether or not it prioritizes personal accounts over business accounts. Prior to July 2016, users were supposedly missing up to 70% of all posts and 50% of their friends' posts due to, what did they call it? The reverse chronological feed.
Yeah.
And then since abandoning that algorithm, apparently users are now seeing more than, up to 90% of their friends' posts due to the relevancy sort of criteria that they've got. Now, apparently, the skinny on this relevancy criteria is interest. This is the priority of sort of factors that influence what you see first on your feed.
Right, okay.
And that is interest. So how much Instagram predicts you'll care about a post. So it'll rank higher for stuff that you've engaged with.
Right, based on previous
comments, likes, things like that. Recency, which is chronological. And then relationships. So I guess these are personal accounts with personal accounts, long time, ranking based on friendship, I guess, is however they gauge that anyways. So there's that. Now, some of the major things, really, this all comes from a face-to-face that Instagram had with TechCrunch. So they invited them into their office and they had a very candid discussion over how the app works. And I think they've been very secretive about how the app actually works. And I know I've wondered recently about the shadow banning thing in particular because some of these tools have popped up, haven't they, where you can punch in your username and it'll look at the hashtags you're using on the photos that you're posting. Yeah. And hashtags are key to how photographers and influencers are discovered, and how you grow your followers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hugely important.
Yeah.
And there have been reports that if you use too many tags, or if you use the same tags with too much frequency, that you'll no longer be categorized underneath those hashtags. Right. And these tools have popped up where you can punch in your username and it'll extrapolate, the last 10 posts that you've made, and I don't know how it does it, but it'll look at what photos are posted underneath that hashtag and determine whether or not your photo is there.
Yeah.
And according to, the feedback that I got from one of these tools when I used it was that I think like half of pretty much all the posts that I made, a lot of the tags were just kind of scratched out.
Really?
Yeah, so I wasn't being seen underneath some of these tags.
Because they were being used too often or something like that? Or?
Yeah. So the concept, is if you're using them too often, they stop putting your photos out there. So you're no longer discoverable.
What if you, my first inquiry would be, what if you're actually using your name as a hashtag?
Well, I mean, if you think about the posts we do, surely Cheltenham, Gloucester, Coventry, those are sort of tags that you'd want in because it's the local area, isn't it? And it's like, what if you can't?
Those are tags that we're not appearing under. I haven't posted anything for maybe a week or two now, but we weren't being seen underneath those posts, and that's how, as a local business, we reach out to our local sort of community and audience.
It's a bit crazy.
But the official line, with regards to shadow banning, as reported by TechCrunch, is shadow banning is not a real thing, and Instagram says it doesn't hide people's content for posting too many hashtags or taking other actions. Instagram also doesn't downrank users for posting too frequently or for other specific behaviors, but it may swap in other content in between someone's if they're rapid firing sort of separate posts.
Okay.
So the official line is shadow banning is not a thing. We don't do it.
Right.
Believe what you want to
believe. I can understand the last bit.
And that's from a discussion that TechCrunch had with lead developers at Instagram. So that's not like a public announcement or really an official statement. It was
just purely conversation.
That's journalism. So I don't know. Anyways, another factor that has been discussed a lot recently is whether or not Instagram gives extra feed presence to personal accounts over business accounts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the knock-on effect of that is if they do, businesses have to spend more money through sponsored ads to get the same viewership.
Yeah. So it's kind of encouraging people to to pay.
Spend money, on advertising. And the official line on that was also, I say official, but this is also journalism and from a discussion between TechCrunch and Instagram, is that they don't give extra feed presence to personal accounts or business accounts. So switching to one or the other won't help your situation.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's good to hear.
But yeah, so I think it's relevant. I mean, 800 million users at this point. Odds are
ridiculous.
Most of the people that we're speaking to right now have this app and are probably using it to try and get some attention for their work. So
yeah, but the key feature which helps you grow is
possibly being
compromised.
It's not allowing you to grow.
Yeah, so look out for some of those tools. See if plug your username in and see if what's happening.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, we'll find one.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Noct. Doesn't make any sense on its own.
No.
Right. So then we got some rumors coming out of the Nikon and the Canon camps here. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah. Well, once again, the Nikon, Canon mirrorless full frame. Everybody's looking out for this stuff. We're getting some more rumors here. Apparently, Nikon trademarked the name Noct, which I believe stands for. Is it for night or for low light?
I think it's is it light or low light?
Meaning night. Meaning night.
Night.
There you go. Latin for night. Word not. Yeah. But this can apply to either I think they've trademarked it full stop, so they can apply it to the lenses, to the actual system itself. So the idea that a lot of people are speculating this could be for the upcoming full frame, and there's going to be an emphasis on the low light ability.
I always find it interesting that people are so obsessed with this topic that they will keep tabs on where trademarks are registered. Like they're keeping track of public record in order to figure out what what their next move is going to be.
What's going on.
It's so heavily invested in
if you're one of those, the best ones to keep an eye on, which I do, is actually Indonesia and the Philippines.
Oh really?
Every single time there's a leak, is either the Philippines or Indonesia.
Right. Oh, like from
like
somebody on the inside or something. I gotcha.
I see.
So there you go.
So that's so Nikon have trademarked Noct.
Yeah.
So, but the rumours are for that.
Could be something to do with the full frame mirrorless.
But that seems to be the speculation for it. But also on the Canon side of things, apparently they patented a new lens mount, which is different to the FM and EF. But I actually read this. The suggestions are that it can handle both old and new.
Good.
So, really rumours are a lot of the speculation for this. Again, this is going to be for the Canon upcoming full frame mirrorless.
Yeah, because that would be.
You might as well just shoot yourself in the foot.
What an absurd thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Another mount that can't handle
the great lenses they've already got. It would be the EFM situation all over again.
That will put off a huge amount of people. But yeah, the reports coming in from Canon News. This is the first hint that this is from the upcoming Canon full frame.
I mean, these guys need to make sure they get everything right, because Sony have gotten everything right. Yeah. So there is no room for error in the development of these new products.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
So yeah, full frame mirrorless Canon Nikon.
Cool beans.
There you go.
Right. So we had several new product releases this week. The first of which came on either Tuesday or Wednesday, and that was with the new Sony compact digital camera, the Sony RX100 VI. Well-regarded series of cameras. I think people have been a big fan of these cameras since the second and third iteration. I don't know how the first one went down. It was way back when. I have no idea.
It was interesting, but it's definitely grown.
Yeah, I was very strongly considering getting a Mark IV around that time when they came out. Just there's such a great compact camera. They're just great.
Yeah.
But
they don't. But they don't. I think that's just the thing with Sony products. They don't hold a lot of features back. They pack as many as they can into each of their products.
Yeah.
That being said, there isn't a mic jack on this one, which is like darn.
Because this would be a perfect vlogging camera.
Oh man,
But if it had the mic jack on it, it would be absolutely. I think it'd be pretty spot on.
So we can only assume that they're trying to not cannibalize sort of the market share they've garnered with the A6000 series cameras. Anyways, so the Sony RX100 VI, 1,100 pounds, 1,150 pounds. These are the top-down specs. It's got a new Zeiss Vario sonar 24 to 200mm f2.8 to f4.5 lens on it. A lot of comments on this has been that the previous iteration, the Mark V, had a 24 to 70mm equivalent lens on it, and it was an f1.8 to f2.8. So some people are disappointed with the loss of that that aperture.
But it's got the built-in stabilization, hasn't it, to compensate for that, I think. The new one, I think it's got 4 stops.
Does it?
Yeah, I think it's got 4 stops of optical image stabilization to compensate for
the loss.
For that loss. I believe that's what it says.
Fair enough. An extra 4 stops there.
Well played.
The next thing is it's got the world's fastest autofocus.
It's that focused.
I don't know if it's the world's fastest or not, but it's good. And when we know autofocus on Canon cameras are very good anyways. Yep. It's got 315 phase detection AF points. So with, that's 65% coverage in combination with the autofocus. That's a good combination. 20.1 megapixel 1-inch Exmor RS stacked CMOS sensor, which means that you can shoot up to 24 frames per second. It's pretty bananas, really.
Yep,
24 frames per second, records 4K, 315 AF points, very fast autofocus. You've got the 24 to 200 f1.4. I mean, even at fully extended, you can hit 4.5. That's your widest aperture. So that's a great camera for something that comes in the size of it's smaller than my phone is really.
Something that literally can fit in your pocket.
And it's great LCD. It does 4K recording. Again, a little disappointing that it doesn't do 4K recording with that AF with an external microphone, but it still won't deter some people using it as a vlogging camera. I've seen people use the compact camera as a vlogging camera before, and sure, the audio sounds a little bit tinny when you're outside and you're picking up a lot of external noise. But it's still good,
Ted Forbes is very much looking forward to it, isn't he?
He is.
The art photography was absolutely stunning.
He's got a great review on this one. And the other thing that came along with this camera is this new shooting grip, and so it looks like one of the tiny little sort of pixie Manfrotto grips that we've had before, even smaller than that. And all the legs fold up into an almost pistol-like grip, and you've got capture functionality and zoom functionality.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet actually. That's compatible, was it, with the RX0 and RX100 series, isn't it?
All the CyberShot cameras. Well, I won't say all of them in case there are some old models. But and that really intense RX0 sort of GoPro looking thing they do.
I just like the idea that you can control everything on the grip as well.
That's
easier going.
Picture the combination though with the external mic on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have the grip with the CyberShot and just like one of those little Manfrotto extender things with a cold shoe on it and an external mic there. Oh man,
done.
Great. Yeah, you'd have an entire setup there. It's great.
Sorted.
Darn. Anyways, so that's it for new Sony releases for this week. Tell us about the Canon stuff.
Yeah, the last one is there was rumours a while ago about the new Canon 7200 mm lenses. There's the 2.8 and the f4. Both of them have actually officially been announced now. I think the 2.8 is going to be due in mid-August. And the f4 is going to be in late June. There's a few. Was it the 2.8 IS Mark III? Yes, I can't remember how long it's been since the Mark II. I think I can't remember. One of them was 12 years, one of them was 8 years.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah. I was going to go way into... I was writing a blog about it yesterday, and these things have been out. Like, the lineage of these goes back, 20 years plus. So.
Yeah, they're very versatile lenses. They can be used for portraits, for landscapes, for all sorts of stuff. So, I think one of the big additions to the 2.8 is a air sphere coating, which has been added to it, which apparently suppresses light reflections, flaring, and ghosting.
Sweet.
Nice.
The previous lens it had 4 stops of stabilization, and this one's only got 3.5 stops of stabilization. So there's been a little bit of a murmur,
But you said there might have been something to do with the way Canon.
Apparently, it's the same mechanism.
Right.
Which, take it how you want it, I don't know, but they've just decided to measure it differently. So it's not necessarily going to be all that different. I think you'll have to make a comparison for yourselves.
Testing phases always get updated on 12 years ago, I'm pretty sure. I hope the way that they tested products 12 years ago has been updated by now. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But you were saying there's There is quite a bit of difference with the f4.
Huge,
version, yes.
huge. I would think it's a massive amount of difference with the f4. Yeah. So the f4 went from a 3.5 stop stabilized lens. Now you've got 5 stops of stabilization.
Nice,
sweet.
So that's pretty immense.
Yeah.
You know, that's great. That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's an improvement that we can all get on board with.
Yeah, definitely.
And I quite like the new white.
It's all about the aesthetics.
Yeah. It's not like
the lens doesn't look good. It ain't getting in my bag.
So nice aesthetic feature there. It's the other one was like an off-white creamy color, which was cool for a while.
Yeah,
but this one's like Stormtrooper white, isn't it?
Nice.
So that's kind of
pristine.
Yeah,
I can dig that. Sweet. So that's it for new gear for the week. Andy, tell us what we're trying to sell these guys.
we have quite a few promos for you this week. By quite a few, I say 4. So as we mentioned earlier, Manfrotto were very kind enough for our free peach signs to give us some Lowepro bags. And in regards to Manfrotto and Lowepro bags, we are offering 20% off which is huge. The range and the discount, in all fairness.
Nice.
Olympus are offering a free fashion kit.
What is that? I saw that. What is a fashion kit?
It's basically you've got a choice of colours of a half case as well as a leather strap.
Right.
So that's their fashion kit.
Okay.
Does our promo on the website say fashion outfit by chance on the title?
It does, because that's how they want us to word it.
It's so... This is... I was looking at this yesterday though, and I was looking at it and I was like, fashion outfit?
Yeah.
Sounds weird, doesn't it?
I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. But it's worth £49. To be fair, it looks very, very neat. There's at least 4 ranges of colours. My personal favourite is actually the dun and blue. It looks actually quite nice in all fairness with you.
Neat.
So yeah, that's available as of today. The Pentax 645 users out there, if you're looking to add a new lens towards your kit, there's now 50% off the full range of 645 lenses.
Bam.
Okay. So that could be a huge saving because them lenses aren't necessarily cheap.
Not cheap. So 50%
that's a
off
huge
is
saving.
a big one.
And vloggers out there, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this one, but the Canon EOS M5 has now got a massive £200 instant discount off either the body or the kit, which is actually for Canon. Canon doing amazing on promotions. There's so many.
That's decent.
Yeah.
That's got 5-axis in body, all the good stuff.
Yeah, it's got all the decent bits and bobs that you're looking for vloggers. So
that's one to look out for.
Definitely worth a look out. So there we go. There's the promotion on it.
Dig it. Cool.
Bye.
Success. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay. We are getting worse at these outros.